Yeah, I mean, I was in AOL chat rooms before I should have been, so...
Girl, I don't know what that means. Hey everyone, welcome to the S.O.B Marketing Podcast, where we celebrate the S.O.B that you are, and if you haven't figured it out yet, we mean small-owned business. We don't mean S.O.B.
Listen, we know that as a small business owner, you are working hard on the daily to keep your business fully operational while trying to promote it. And while some days it may feel like the business is owning you, if we're being honest with each other, I bet you would admit that you wouldn't give up the insanity for anything.
Our commitment here at the S.O.B Marketing Podcast is to give you the real talk, what works when it comes to advertising, marketing, promoting your business, and then what doesn't really work.
And Chelsea and I promise to always keep the conversation real. All right, so Chelsea, before we jump into today's episode, which is Take Back the Keys to Your Kingdom, for everybody that's new here and doesn't know us, why don't you just let them know who we are and why we're qualified to talk about marketing stuff?
Absolutely. So Vivian and I are sisters.
Yay.
We have 15 years apart, and both of us are marketing professionals. Growing up, I did not want to go into marketing because that's what Vivian did, and that's lame.
Oh my God.
Side. I know. But then I actually went to college, and I fell in love with marketing. So right out of college, I became a marketing director for a small business in the healthcare industry. And while I loved it, I realized that small businesses struggle so much. So I really wanted to focus on helping small businesses as a whole. And you were kind of already doing that because you had already started the Seasoned Marketer. If you want to talk about that, how it started.
I've always been super involved in small business just because when I did come out of college, I joined the local Chamber of Commerce, and that really was eye-opening for me as far as how many small businesses struggled with just basic marketing. So they're running the operations, and then they're still having to go out and market their business all the time, and it's hard. It's very hard to do that. So I went on to, kind of dive into healthcare marketing, and that's been my jam for the past, I don't know, over 15, 16, 17 years now. Who's counting? But the key to that, I think, really was the groundbreaking that we had done years ago, back in 2017. And I happened to have the foreman for the project that we were working on and doing this groundbreaking project for come up to me. And he basically just said, like, hey, my wife and I own a storage facility out in Ohio, and we want to do this for our business. We had the press there, we had press kits we were giving out, and it was free PR. Something sparked in me where I thought, so many small business owners could do this for themselves if they just knew what to do.
Yes.
They didn't go to marketing school. We did. We know who we should be reaching out to, how we should be formatting stuff, but they just don't have those resources. So that's our goal here at the Seasoned Marketer, to give free resources to small business owners, and this podcast is going to be one of those free resources.
Yes, we're going to dive deep into different marketing topics to explain why this might work, why this might not work, and a how-to kind of on certain marketing topics. So I really hope this helps you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's go ahead and, Chelsea, let's start talking about our topic today, which is our discussion is going to be based on how, as a small business owner, you may unknowingly, you guys might not be doing this on purpose, but you might unknowingly just be handing over the keys to your kingdom, aka your small business, if you are relying solely on social media. And so what we'll do is we'll give you some really simple practical ideas on how you can funnel and leverage the interest that you're getting on social media onto your own database or just onto your own email list, whatever that might look like.
So how exactly are you handing over the keys to your kingdom? Don't get mad at us. It's about social media. Okay. Yeah. And we're not saying that social media is bad and you shouldn't be using it, but sometimes you're unknowingly handing over the keys to your kingdom, to your business, because you're relying so much on social media.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We definitely don't want to make social media the bad guy here, because it is great.
It's
for
a
small
great
business.
Tool.
Absolutely, but it's a tool, and that's the thing.
Exactly.
So there are so many people that think, I have a business. And then when you ask them, well, where can we find information on your business or whatnot? They're like, yeah, just go to Instagram or Facebook. And those are the only areas, or TikTok nowadays, right? That they're kind of building their audience base. And so what we want to talk about is the value that social media does bring. However, if you are not transitioning the audience that you're getting on these social media platforms onto something that you own solely, onto an email list, onto a CRM, a database, or some type of, consumer
texting list,
a texting list, then obviously you still are 100% solely reliant on that platform. All right, so Chelsea, to drive this point home, let me ask you, you're 15 years younger, which makes you how old right now?
I'll be 25 in March.
Okay, as a 25-year-old, what is MySpace?
I vaguely know that it was a social media platform. The only thing I really know is that on your profile, you could put songs.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that's the only thing I really know.
So the really cool part, as your elder here, let me tell you a little bit about MySpace. It was, I think MySpace crawled so that a lot of these social media platforms could walk and run.
Sure.
And so back then, basically the allure was that it was a platform for all of us to get on there and communicate. Like you can add friends still the same way you do now. However, you could actually rank your friends, and that was pretty cool. So like if you made somebody's like top 5, you were like, yes, like that's how you're showing me the love, right?
Be honest, would I be in your top 5?
I mean, yes.
Okay.
You'd be like number 1, number 2.
Okay, good.
So that's what MySpace was. And you could incorporate music into that. And so for a lot of us, 90s kids that were into those jams, like that was the way we expressed ourselves. But I think just like MySpace over time, you as a 24, 25-year-old do not know what MySpace is. No. And the thing is, the longevity of these platforms just isn't there because naturally it's connected to the evolution of technology.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so just like we don't want to have flip phones anymore, these platforms, social media platforms, are going to change and evolve with the way that we communicate. And so that really is key here. And my point in bringing that up is while MySpace was such a big deal for me and a big part of my life, for Chelsea here, she has no clue what it is. Like we're having to explain it to her. So I do also want to bring up, I was kind of interested yesterday. I posted on my personal Facebook, like, hey, what are some of the failed social media platforms that we used as kids that just aren't around anymore? And I thought for sure that I wasn't going to hear anything new because, I was pretty into that kind of
social
stuff.
media.
Yeah, I mean, I was in AOL chat rooms before I should have been. So,
girl, I don't know what that means.
So I thought I was pretty into stuff. I knew what all was out there, but I did have a friend that responded, and this was great because I had no clue about this. He responded that Planet Out was his favorite, and quite literally, I'm reading from his post. He says, it was a social networking and dating website that was popular in the early 2000s. It was one of the first online communities specifically created for the LGBTQ plus community.
I love that.
I know. And it provided a platform for members to connect with others, find support, and build relationships. The website had a strong following and was considered a pioneer in creating a safe and inclusive space for LGBTQ plus people to connect and engage with others online. It's where I made my lifelong friends and where I met my husband.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. So I think the reason I wanted to share that is even as somebody who was online at the time, I didn't know about Planet Out.
Yeah.
And so there are just these social media platforms that will come in and, they will engage people. They will build these strong online communities, and then they will not exist in 10 years. And so that's the whole point of us just bringing up the fact that, you guys, if you're a small business owner and you're solely relying on Instagram, it's fabulous that you have 10,000 Instagram followers. Be sure that you try to stream those or to get those on your email list.
Yeah, I have an example from this day and age. TikTok. Sorry. TikTok is one, the U.S. government. We live in the United States, in case you didn't know that. The U.S. government is once again trying to ban TikTok.
Right.
Whether they'll actually do it this time or not, who knows? But my point is, a lot of small businesses have really taken off on TikTok and grown a huge following. Yeah. That's brilliant. That's wonderful. If the U.S. decides to ban it, it's going to be gone. And again, this is the point that we're making. What happens if it's just gone one day to all those followers that you have? Did you convert them into a lead or not? And that's the main point, is you need to convert them into leads.
And so what are some of the ways that you think, let's be practical, busy small business owners, what are some of the ways that you would recommend they start to do this? Like, how can if I have a Instagram account or a TikTok account and I do have a good following, or I'm building that up, what do I need to be sure that I'm doing so that I can, if TikTok goes away tomorrow, I can still communicate or still have this as part of my target audience?
Well, leads. So create a lead magnet if you don't already have one. And if you are a little unfamiliar about what lead magnets are, you can go to our YouTube channel, and Vivian does a wonderful video explaining what lead magnets are. But in the sake of this podcast, this episode right now, a lead magnet is something of value that you're going to give to someone who's interested in exchange for their information. So create a lead magnet, have it on your website, push people into your website, really promote your website so that they'll go there, they'll get the lead magnet, you'll get their information.
Yeah, and to Chelsea's point, the lead magnets, I think what's really cool about those, and we'll save this for another podcast episode too, is that you can really start to group people and put people in buckets depending on what their interests are that line up with your services and your products. And so that way, when you have someone that signs up for a lead, we have a lead magnet, which actually we just got about 3 people on this morning, which I'm super excited.
Oh my gosh.
For one of our videos is about setting up a craft display or a display at events, local events. And so we created a lead magnet just for that. And what that does is that indicates to us that everybody that gets put on that particular email list is interested in events.
Yes.
And so we know that any offerings that we have in the future, videos or content that would be of interest to them, we could just target them. So lead magnets are great. Good job, Chelsea. The other one I would say is being sure that you have your own website.
Yes.
Listen, I understand. I know so many people that are like, I don't need a website because I have Instagram.
On Instagram. Yep.
Y'all, you need your own website. For one, if Instagram goes away or whatever, you need to have a backup plan. But not just that. Search engine wise, you guys, you have to have a website that allows the interweb to crawl and to be able to find you, right? So that's the only way that really over time you're going to build your brand authority. And not just that, if you're a small business.
Well, I was going to say, it also really limits. I mean, I know that we think everyone is on Instagram, but not everyone is. And so you're limiting your business to just the people who are using Instagram.
I will tell you who is on Instagram, though.
Who's on your Instagram?
Raina. Our mama.
My gosh.
Queenie.
She liked one of my pictures the other day.
Did you? Yeah. So our mom's on
so proud of
Instagram,
her.
y'all. Yeah. You can learn Instagram if you're not on it.
Yeah.
Do you have a list of emails that you have collected from past buyers that is just sitting there getting dusty?
Are you looking for a way to build a long-term relationship with people so that your small business will stay top of mind for them? Want to increase your repeat sales?
For every dollar spent on email marketing, businesses receive an average of a $42 return on their investment. And with an ROI like that, can you really afford to continue to let that email list sit there and just collect dust?
Joining our Nothing But Emails monthly membership program means that you can sit back and reap the rewards of sending out monthly or bi-monthly communication while we craft the email and send it out on your behalf.
For less than $100 a month, you can capitalize on this. Start today by visiting www.theseasonmarketer.com/services. So this is another thing that I sometimes struggle with a lot. Social media platforms have this way of warping your sense of reality. And I say that because when you are sitting there on Instagram and you're scrolling up through these reels and you see the same type of content all the time, because that's what the algorithm's feeding you, you start to shape your mentality or what you think is actually going on in the business community based off of this. And that's not the case. Like, there's a whole world outside of social media. And so, yeah, I think building your own website, you have to have a place that's your home online where you control the content that you are putting on there. Now, is it upkeep? Absolutely. Is it hard to keep up with the website and with the social media platforms? Yes, but you are a small business owner, and that is part of the responsibility you have to get your audience what they need, right? So, yeah.
But you know what? You can do it because you're an S.O.B.
That's right. Good job, Charles. All right. So what else can people do outside of a lead magnet and having their own website? SMS?
SMS, yeah. Texting lists.
Yeah. So SMS marketing, y'all, is also another word for text marketing.
Yep.
So if you have done any online shopping recently, so let's say you do, I don't know, I bought a jewelry online one time and they are all about some text marketing.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason they're all about it is because it's effective.
Also, knowing your audience, though, because I love opening emails. My significant other has never opened an email in his life. Ever. I don't want to know what his email inbox looks like.
I'm at almost 10,000.
Oh my
Can
God.
he beat it? Is he over or under?
God. I have no idea. It kills me. But so
y'all, this is the funny part is Chelsea and I, while we are sisters and we share the same blood, Chelsea is very, very organized and very much, she likes to have a game plan for everything. While her big sister here is, just throw fate to the wind. Who needs a game plan? I feel like it kills a little bit of my soul when I have things planned out. I'm like, no, I don't want to know what's expected.
oh God.
Yeah.
It kills me that you don't have a plan. Gives me anxiety. But my point was he'll check his texts,
Yeah.
He'll look
For
at
sure.
that. So
Well, and the texting, so that's the other part of it is now, y'all need to be following some, and maybe we could cover this in a future podcast, the rules, right? So you can't just be taking people's cell phone numbers and putting them on.
please don't do that. Don't do it.
He's going to get in trouble. So don't do that. But you do want to have a way of collecting this information. And so this could be something that where you tie into a lead magnet. Let's say if you're offering a free download, maybe some of the requisites or the data points that you're collecting is a first name, an email address, and then also maybe a cell phone number. But you need to outline or put an asterisk on there that specifically tells them what you're going to be using that cell phone number for, right?
You need to inform them that you are going to be advertising to them.
Yes, absolutely. So communicating to them via cell.
Via cell, yep.
Via text. All right. So those are some of the practical ways. I do think that maybe the other reminder is, I think a lot about profitability in a business, getting caught up in vanity metrics, because it is so easy to you see someone that's doing the same thing, same product or service, and you think, wow, this person's got 20,000 Instagram followers. Like, why am I not there? Or my entire goal is to get 20,000 because I somehow think that's going to unlock some amount of profitability, but that's not the case, y'all.
No.
It's not guaranteed. And let me tell you, because I've been on YouTube now for a while. It's the same thing for YouTube. So you think that, yes, at 1,000 subscribers, you start to monetize on it, but like everything else, it doesn't mean that the next day you're going to be, raking in $10,000 a month from monetizing. Same thing with Instagram and with Facebook. The other significant thing I wanted to say here is, even though it sounds a bit harsh, You guys, that's a slippery slope when you are just relying on social media. So part of the reason that most people become small business owners is because they want to have autonomy, flexibility, and they want to manage their time. They want to live a certain lifestyle. They don't want to be punching the clock 9 to 5. I mean, truth is, you probably punch the clock 9 to midnight.
Yeah.
So you trade in to get more hours. You become a small business owner for a reason. You want more time to do what you want to do, right? And if you're being honest with yourself, if you are focusing on social media as your only way to grow your business, the truth is you guys probably do not have a lot of time to do the stuff you want to do. You're so focused on it, right? Social media is a tool in your tool belt.
Yes.
And you want to leverage it. It's a great way to find people that are going to be your target audience.
Yes. Find the people, convert them into leads.
Yes. Consider it a funnel. If you're
It's a
looking at a
funnel.
funnel,
Absolutely.
right? At the top of it, you can utilize Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, all this stuff to get them interested in what you're doing, but then have them move down that funnel. There's got to be something that triggers them into getting them onto your list.
Absolutely.
So email list, website, text, SMS. If you are a small business that uses some type of CRM system where basically it just tracks your customer base, right? So like you get to house all the information and the data in one CRM system, then figure out a way to get them on that system.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
No, I think we covered it.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode. We have resources for small business owners. We have a weekly Monday video that we release that's focused on marketing as well. That's on YouTube under The Seasoned Marketer. We're going to do these podcasts every Wednesday.
Yep, every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. And then on Thursdays, we actually have an email that we send out to our email list. And that's even more marketing information. So if you just you want to be up to date and in the know. The other thing that we cover is Chelsea and I try to do a lot of the research for y'all so that you don't have to, right? Use us as your shortcut.
Well, thanks again for listening. We'll be back next week with another topic, and get out there and be the best S.O.B. you can be.